the neighbor. Let's get the car started here. First car start here on the Okay. So, a lot of good news today, guys. So, it's hot as a bitch. 85 degrees right now. It's 8:30 at night. So, not only, let's see if this is it's not too bad, but let's do this. There we go. Get some more natural light in here, even though it's dark. See if we can get some ambient lighting, as it were. We'll put this on because it's not really going to be too good. Anyway, so a lot of good news. Right now, first good piece of news is we got the tripod working. And obviously the tripod has worked this entire time. This blue light's kind of annoying. Let's move that out of the way. I love having the touchscreen like display and stuff, but sometimes it's annoying if like you accidentally bump it. But yeah, tripod's good. I was able to move the seat back, kind of position the camera angle in a sense that it's see, look, we should be good amidst that turn. Yeah, so a little more down, we can probably get it, but let's try to turn all these lights on. There we go. Actually, I'm gonna go left. Trying to see how good of a turn radius we can get here. Perfect. Awesome. So maybe we don't need this one. That's pretty good. Makes the forearms look pretty cool. So, anyways, we are headed for legs. Shoulders feeling good, guys. Let's get my seat right. I'm in the middle of this fucking lane. This person's probably, what are you doing? Yeah, so we're good here. So yeah, we're going to hit legs. Tripod is good. Finally, didn't forget the headphones. Mic's charged. The receiver's charged. And we got a special guest in the building. Oh, well, you always have a bang. Today, Purple Haze. I'll try to get a little closer angle of that while we're driving here. Purple Haze. Yeah, I don't want to crash. So it's still a little bit wonky, but it's just good. This is good. We don't want to drive too crazy. But yeah, let's get into this lift. So we're about 30 minutes out from the gym. I'm gonna try not to record the whole time. I've been noticing that my car talks on the way to the gym are like the bulk of the video. If we do need some extra lighting, yeah, that should be fine. I just want to be driving with my lights on the whole time. So I'm gonna keep turning on and off. So you guys can see me. I don't have a freaking professional grade camera. I'm using my iPhone. So let's taste this again. Performance beverage. Um, we have Bang. Fuel your destiny. Who gives a shit? Purple Haze. So I'm excited right now because it's August 24th. All right, 24th or 26th. I think it's the 24th or 26th. One of the two dates. Um, I have this freaking nice car, luxury, all these great things, bells and whistles, this, that, and the other, and I don't know how to find the date. I've had this car like for like 9 months now, and I still have yet to like remember. Whatever. Let's just get into this. Ghost Energy just came out with the. I gotta turn this on. It's getting too dark. They just came out with the Welch's grape, which I'm ecstatic to try, but for the time being, let's see if it smells like what I think it's gonna smell like, and I'll give you guys the verdict here in a sec. Yep, this smells exactly like what you got. Like, think about. I don't want to use the word artificial. Let's see if you guys are gonna fall a little bit, but because I have the tripod actually stabilized, you should be able to come right back. Well, let's just get this taste. Actually, I don't want to disrespect the taste test. Let's get you guys leveled out again. So there's a little bit of wobbling. I didn't prepare for that, but I got the tripod stable now, but just a little bit off kilter. Anyways, let's get this taste test. As I say every video, guys, focus on performance drinks pre-workout, not fucking caffeine energy drinks. Now you're gonna say, well, performance drinks have caffeine in them, dude. You're an idiot. I know they do. Caffeine is not the issue, but if you're again, I say it's like the last three videos I said this, but who knows? Maybe one new person sees this. Let's do the taste test. Hold on. This is money. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to use the word artificial here, but the the commonly associated negative connotation to the word artificial, kind of put that aside for right now. I'm not using artificial in a negative sense or derogatory sense, like, oh, this tastes artificial. But to give you guys an example of what this tastes like, for those of you who are like me and like, this is like part of the gym ritual is what are you gonna drink beforehand, whether that's you know some ice cold water with a little bit of lime or lemon in there, like whatever your pure cut is. Like everybody has their thing. I'm a fucking caffeine addict, and I'm not afraid to admit it. Um, so I'll get into that in a minute here. But I love performance-based drinks. Whatever you guys are thinking of, like think of that artificial. What's this flavor again? Grape. Think of that artificial grape flavor that's like in your mind. It's exactly what this tastes like. Now, when I say artificial, I don't mean like negative, like oh this tastes like syrupy, but it tastes like blueberry or grape. I mean, it's spot on. Like any grape carbonated soda, grape carbonated soda. I mean, it has that grape taste. Like it's just spot on. So this is called uh, Purple Haze. So it's not grapes. What am I thinking of? Purple Haze. Yeah, Welch's grape juice. Yeah, I'm thinking of the right thing. So this is awesome. Super great here. But as I always talk about, guys, performance drinks over energy drinks. Oh fuck me! I almost just pulled out in front of the traffic that you guys see right there. Um, but yeah, so I get my window tinted on Wednesday. So back to, or not back to, we'll be at 25%. I had 35%. I first got this car. I have a Range Rover SV autobiography, so whatever. But it tinted all the way around when I bought it from the dealership. Besides the front windshield, because in Ohio, I didn't know this, but I was like, I kind of knew about it, but having your front windshield tinted at all is illegal. You can have that like top bar, like you guys know in some cars they'll have like the top like tenth, like the 1/8 maybe of the window is like tinted or blue to help with like some of the UV rays that go into your eyeballs, to your retinas, as it were. So no tint shop like in Ohio, like no professional like tint shop will tint your front windshield. It's illegal. And if you say, oh, I got it from Bob the Builder's tint shop down the street, cops are gonna show up and say, hey, you guys are doing illegal work and fine them or shut them down or whatever. But my wife has a guy that she knows that does like a whole, he works at a dealership. He's tinted her windows. He works at like a tint dealership or whatever, or not tint dealership, but tinting whatever the fuck. But whatever. I'm not gonna give him his stuff away, but whatever. He's a good dude and he helps us out. I'll just say that. Super cool dude. I like him a lot. He's down to earth and shit. Married, just I don't know. He's cool. He fucking does cool shit. But he does front windshield tints like all the way. So I took it to him and got 50% done. Like probably 2 months after I got this car, because there's just no windshield. Oh, okay, this isn't a fucking car. I had a 50%, then I got it taken off and went down to 35%, and then my window cracked, take it off, and now Wednesday I'm going to get 25%. But who gives a fuck? You guys aren't here for that. Legs. So performance drinks pre-legs. Again, I'm always an advocate for having performance drinks that aren't just loaded in caffeine. There's some performance drinks that you can have as a pre-workout that have no caffeine. Let me actually put the headrest back. There we go. Because caffeine is not the only what would you want to call it, like performance based supplement to take. Caffeine is obviously an energy source, right? Um, but like vitamin B12 is a very common natural. Like if you have, like that's why a lot of girls and guys, or girls who like take like Ozempic and that kind of stuff, they're usually a compound with B12, because when you're on those shots or you're fasting and stuff, and even people who do like intermittent fasting or do like a day or two a week where they don't eat at all, a lot of them take supplementary vitamin B12 because it gives you more natural energy. So a lot of those compounded shots will have B12 in them because they're curving your appetite, kind of like caffeine is a natural appetite suppressant. It's like a diuretic basically. So to compensate basically against the lack of eating, instead of giving you lower energy, the caffeine boosts your energy
and then a lot of those shots that like anything that basically involves you not eating, B12 is a good substitute to have because we know that glycogen or glucose is energy in the body, right? Glucose is stored in the muscle, and liver or fructose is stored in your liver, so that's why people get like fatty liver and stuff like that. Um, but it basically the B12 helps compensate for low energy, and low energy comes from not eating carbs because carbs in your body turn into energy. We'll just say, right? So like if you go eat a scoop, if you have a cup of white rice, a half a sweet potato, and 4 ounces of lean ground turkey 2 hours before the gym, you're going to notice a drastic increase in just natural energy, better performance. You're going to feel fuller. You're going to think you're holding a pump better, those sorts of things. Versus, let me turn the AC down because I'm not sure if it's bothering you guys how loud it is. Versus not having any carbs and going and training fasted. So like I do my cardio fasted every morning because I'm not trying to burn any extra calories or carbs. I'm trying to burn basically the source, if, as it were, meaning just the body fat. So it's like basically imagine like a stick, right? And if you put a stick walking on cardio, and you know that if a stick keeps doing cardio, just the exit here. Yep. Okay. It's nighttime. I'm not wearing my glasses. I'm like kind of guessing. Even I go to the gym every day here. And by the way, back workout 2 days ago, Planet Fitness. Was that no yesterday? Planet Fitness back yesterday. Was that yesterday? Yeah, back I trained yesterday at PF. That was incredible, man. I think I recorded it actually. Yeah, I recorded it. So you guys already saw the video. Never mind. I gotta start posting. I got like 8 videos, 7 or 8 videos. I gotta post. I post my grocery haul for the start of the cut, but I haven't posted the last 7 or 8 videos. In my head, I'm like, it's slipping my mind because I'm recording them still, but I'm not actually posting them. Anyways, um, I don't know what I was getting there. Long story I'm saying it. Imagine a stick that you knew if the stick goes into this cardio, the stick will get skinnier. But imagine you bring that stick into the gym and you get put a coat on it and you wrap it in duct tape. Now the stick has to do extra work to burn off the duct tape and burn off the coat, and then it can start to get skinnier. The stick itself, right? If that's kind of a dumb reference, but just so you know, is like a good analogy. So when I go to the gym to do cardio, I'm trying to burn fat. I want to have as little clothes on me metaphorically as I can. I don't want to have the coat and the duct tape and the hats and the gloves, and I want to go in there as naked as I can, meaning as little food and water in my body as like not necessarily water. As I get deeper into my cuts, I oftentimes will do dry and fasted cardio. So in a fitness context, when someone says that's probably annoying, I'll turn the blinker off. I'm in the left turning lane, so people can get the idea. In a fitness context, saying fasted cardio means I've been fasted. I've not put food in my body. To go a step further and say dry and fasted cardio means that I haven't drank water or have I eaten any food. Um, so that's kind of like some people may say that doing cardio without water can be, go with how you feel. Of course, I've been working out for a long time, and I know I'm very responsive to how my body is feeling and stuff, and I'm going to respond to what it's telling me. I got to make sure I'm getting this in because I'm feeling like it's 9 o'clock. I usually don't train this late. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna go hard as it is. But anyways, the idea I'm trying to make is dry and fasted cardio because I'm in a cutting context, right? Or I'm in a cutting phase right now. So we'll call it a chapter. I'm in the cutting chapter of my diet phase. So right, this phase obviously I just got out of the bulk. So as I'm easing into the cut, I'm getting back and doing the staples that I did previous cut. I lost 30 pounds, 31 pounds on my last cut. Went from 248 down to 215, so 33 pounds in a little over 10 weeks. 10 weeks of programming, but there's a couple break weeks in between those. There's a 5-week program, a few weeks of break, and another 5-week program, and I lost over 30 pounds. So I'm kind of going back to those staples that worked for me, which is having like higher protein snacks around the house, like protein mac and cheese, and having the cottage cheese with like the little cottage cheese packets, the Dairy Mints, I think it is, with like the peaches and strawberries. There's a lot of those little protein snacks. I'm a big snacker, so like to me, if I'm eating, I can't just do 3 scrub meals a day and I'm fucking rocking that. Like that's just not me. If you can do that out there, more power to you. But I can't. Like I need to have more snacks. I'm very like fidgety and pickety, fidgety, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just being a little more biased towards myself, which is kind of how it should be. But anyways, in that context of cutting, for those of you out there trying to burn as much weight or burn as much fat and lose as much weight as you can, again, you don't want to go overboard. You're not trying to lose 8 pounds a week. It's not sustainable, right? That's why people who take like steroids and stuff, you get so big so quick, but a lot of times your body's not like it's not catching up to it as quick. So like a good example is your muscles are growing and getting stronger faster than your tendons and ligaments, which is why people on steroids get hurt so much because your body isn't naturally getting stronger and naturally getting bigger and naturally getting heavier and naturally putting on more lean muscle mass and doing these things naturally. When you do it naturally, even if you're biasing faster growth by having higher protein, training muscle hypertrophy, those sorts of things, doing it naturally, your body, your tendons, your ligaments, your skin, all these things have time to grow and expand naturally. But that's why people on steroids, they get so many injuries, their body, their skin, a lot of it's genetics, of course, but they have stretch marks all over the place. And, you know, steroids doesn't like make you bald and give you bad acne. It makes what you're already predisposed to just happen faster. So people are like 30 years old that are taking steroids and they have like receding hairlines, their skin looks horrible. It's not because that just the steroids. It's like it's aging them faster. So I obviously if you're competing in like IFBB and you're trying to be professional, then you might have to go the steroid route to be competitive. Otherwise, you're not really going to make a you're not going to be IFBB, Mr. Olympia, that kind of stuff if you're natural. You're just not. It's not going to happen. But you can definitely make a name for yourself natural and do it the natural way. But I'm not going to sit here and say natural is the right way. I'm a lifetime natural bodybuilder. That's just my choice. But do your fucking thing. Anyways, when it comes to cardio, I'll put the pin in it here before we get into legs. Fasted cardio, I'm always going to say is better than if I go, okay, cardio's at 8 a.m. I get up at 6 and then I do cardio about 6:30. So I do 30 minutes every morning. I do 10,000 steps a day, 7 days a week. So I just do my 30 minutes of cardio in the morning. Gets about 4,000 steps at level 3. I just do steady state cardio every single day when I'm cutting 7 days a week. I do it when I'm bulking too, but I'm more open to skipping if I'm bulking, if that makes sense. I would go on walks and stuff, but cardio is important whether you're in a cutting or bulking phase, just so you guys know. Because your cardiovascular health, which is your heart, you people say, oh, I'm starting cardio against I'm cutting. Like, so you stop cardio when you're bulking, so you're literally telling me that you don't care about your heart health and longevity while you're bulking. People think, oh, bulking, okay, no cardio, eat like shit. Great. It's not how it works. You guys are people who, that's the kind of stuff that irks me. I don't want to cast shame into anybody because I was once there myself. I thought bulking was no cardio, sweatpants and hoodie, pizza and pop. That's how I thought it was when I was in high school, bro. That's all I thought. I'd have my brown rice or my white rice with or I had brown rice back then. That was when I was a brown rice weirdo. I had brown rice with ground beef. Like that was like my thing. It was weird. Whatever. Long story short, fasted cardio for me is gonna help me burn more fat. If I'm like a day or two before my weigh-in, I do weigh-ins every Saturday morning typically. Um, every week, sometimes I might forget and I'll do it like Friday morning or Sunday morning, but my scheduled weigh-ins are every Saturday morning. So like a day or two before, I'll kind of bias a lower weigh-in. I'll like do dry and fasted cardio, dry and fasted cardio the day or two before my weigh-in. So like let's say my weigh-in's this Saturday, which is every week, Thursday and Friday and Saturday. Those 3 days I'm gonna do dry fasted cardio, so no food, no water. So on Saturday when I do my weigh-in, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, pee, whatever, go as much as I can, then go do my dry and fasted cardio for 30 minutes, come back to the house, strip down naked, try to go to the bathroom again, and then I'll weigh myself because I want to get like my most natural, like I want to get like my actual lowest weigh-in. If I have no like food in my body, no urine, like I know it sounds gross to talk about, but like going, I'll just say number one and number two. You, if you have number one, like P, if you have number one and number two still in your body, that's not your body weight. That's your body weight plus those extra things. If I step on the scale and right before I step on it, I drink a gallon of water, I'm gonna weigh a gallon heavier, or whatever that is, a few pounds heavier, a pound heavier, what a couple pounds, however much a gallon is, I don't even fucking know. Let's just say 4 pounds heavier, but just because that water's in my body, if I weigh myself at 9 a.m. with no water and let's just say I'm 200 pounds, and then I drink a gallon of water, weigh myself at 9:02, 2 minutes later, now I'm 204 pounds because I drink 4 pounds worth of water. I'm not 204 pounds. I'm still 200 pounds. I just now have 4 pounds of water in me. Not literally, but you guys get what I'm saying. So I think it's beneficial to, on your weigh-in days, try to sweat as much as you can. Go to the bathroom, one, two, whatever you got to do, so you're getting like your most accurate body weight, because that's what you want to track consistently week over week. Now, whatever method you guys do to track your weigh-ins, whether you're bulking or cutting, so whether you're trying to put on weight or lose weight, just do it consistently. If you're saying, no, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to go to the bathroom or do cardio, I'm going to do my wake up, I'm going to go right to the bathroom, weigh my, or sorry, I'm gonna wake up, go right into the wherever your scale is, and mine's in the bathroom. I'm gonna weigh myself. If you don't go number one, number two, go to the bathroom or if you just wake up and go straight to the scale, that's fine. But just do that every week. So whatever weight you are tracking is consistent week over week. If that kind of makes sense. Anyways, so that's 20 minutes of that. Um, Now when it comes to legs, today it's 9 o'clock. I don't really give a shit what time it is because I just do whatever I want on my own time. This is always the corner here where this thing always flies into the wall. But now that I've kind of fixed it, yeah, I mean, I can take this turn pretty hard, honestly. That's as far as you guys will go now that I sort of fixed that issue. A little bit of wobbliness still, but nothing I can't live with. Um, but yeah, so we're gonna get to the gym. We'll go up and I'll stretch. It's a little different, when I train later because at this point in time, I pretty much have all. What the fuck? This guy driving like an asshole. I don't want to race the dude, but like I put it in sport mode. He's like way in my lane. I don't know if he did that on purpose or not. When you're like anybody, whatever type of car you guys have, if you're gonna any sort of sports car, anybody who sees you automatically wants to race you for whatever reason. But unless you are like me and you've gotten a pretty good handful of tickets, I don't give a shit who pull up next to me. I guess it depends on what time you catch me at, but I'm not about to get a ticket for racing some dude in a freaking Dodge Ram. You're not gonna see it happen. But yeah, so by this time, 9 o'clock. The reason why, in a cutting context, it's yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm open to ideas here. In a cutting context, at 9 o'clock at night, I've at this point had the bulk of my calories for the day, right? So and that kind of goes two ways because when I am cutting, I do tend to bias, and I think this is kind of something everyone should do, just my opinion at least, from my experience and stuff. So take it as it is, but I think it is beneficial to bias your calories in a cutting phase, of course, towards the latter half of the day. So like if you have like right now is Monday, so I have 1,600 calories on Monday. If I have 1,000 calories before 3 or 4 p.m., I'm only leaving myself 500 or 600 calories from 6 to midnight because I usually go to bed around midnight. Um, in terms of like actually falling asleep and stuff. But so it's like I'm not really gonna benefit. I know my body. Right? I'm gonna want to binge. I'm gonna have snacks, and it's gonna be 12:30 night. I'm gonna be tossing and turning. Okay, let me just go inside and have a bowl of cereal really quick. Now that bowl of cereal plus milk, even if it's fat free, just put me over. 400. Now I'm 400 calories over for the day. You know what I mean? So that's why I think it's important to kind of bias your calories in a cutting context, like when you're dieting, trying to lose weight, towards this latter part of the day, the second half of the day, because I don't mind waking up and just having like a small breakfast with some, I have my hydration, so my liquid IV, my 40 ounces of water. I know I haven't shown you guys yet, but it's right here. It's my third one already. So when I finish this at the gym, that'll be a gallon for today, which is on par with my cutting goals. Um, but the point I'm trying to make is, you know, if you have less calories in your cutting, you want to have majority of them later on, so you're not going to bed hungry. And I don't really give a shit about meal timing. I'm not one of those people who thinks, oh, well, you have to eat between 6 and 7. You can't eat before an hour before bed, and if you want to optimize your gains, your anabolic window is going to be 30 minutes after your. Who gives a shit? As long as you're hitting your calories and you're hitting your macro goals throughout the day, personally, and my diet coach agrees, who gives a fuck when you eat them? Now, of course, don't be idiotic and think, okay, well, if under that ideology, I'm going to eat 2,000 calories right before bed, man. Fuck you. okay, that's ridiculous. Have your calories in your food evenly spread out throughout the day, and you're gonna be fine. It's not that hard. I'm sure you guys have heard of like calories in versus calories out. If you want to train hard and you want to lose weight, you need to eat less calories, or you need to basically eat or burn, I guess you could say. At the end of the day, your net calories for the day should basically be less than what your body needs to stay the same, right? So we have your maintenance calories, which is how much you need to eat in a day to stay the same weight. Let's say it's 2,000 calories a day, and if you eat that, you'll stay the same weight. Eat more than that, you'll gain weight. Eat less than that, you'll lose weight. It's literally that easy. Now, of course, the more you start to lose weight, you want to make sure that you're also, prioritizing like health and getting what your body needs, like a good adequate mix of proteins, fats, and carbs, and then your micronutrients. So that kind of stuff can come later on. But for those you just trying to lose weight initially, focus on just eating. My shirt's all fucking like tucked weird. For those you just trying to lose weight, focus on just having less calories than your body needs so you can start to lose weight. Um, and once you get the calorie stuff down, then over time you can focus on like the macros, and then maybe a few months later you can focus on the micros, and then you can start to do those things. Like in the beginning, when I started working with my diet coach that I work with now, Brian, the first program, so we're going to my fourth programming with him now. The first time with him, this was now July of last year, so over a year ago. We only focused on calories for the first, I don't know, handful of time. I don't know, a good grip of time. Maybe the first month was only focusing on calories. Once we got, okay, these calories are working in terms of me losing weight, which was the goal. Now he started to introduce more of the knowledge around like macros. Okay, let's play around with the fats a little bit, and the carbs and the proteins. Let's play around with that a little bit. That pretty much brought us to the end of the first program, second program. So towards the end of the second program, into the third programming, in terms of 5 weeks, and then I did a 6 week program, 5 weeks, and then a 6 weeks. Sorry, no 6 week, whatever. But the idea is, then we started focusing on, okay, calories, macros. Now we're also focusing on hydration, my liquid IV, sodium, micronutrients. All those things start to play a role. The source of my protein. Am I getting it from meat? Am I getting it from protein bars? Am I getting it from what grade is it? Is it A class grade protein? Is it like salmon? Is it some sort of fillet? Is it like a steak? Is it raw? Is it grass? Like then those things can start to come in. But that's because I'm just taking it really seriously. Bodybuilding isn't my life. Working out and fitness is not my life. But the part of my life that it plays is an important one, if that makes sense. A lot of people say, "Oh, you take that stuff too seriously. All you do is work out." I don't. I work out, 2 hours a day, we'll say, if you combine cardio and my lifting. But those 2 hours a day I take very seriously. I think that how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you're one of those half-assed people that just eats kind of whatever and works out kind of whenever, that's fine. If you're in the gym, I'm happy for everybody. But, I just tend to think that doing things, taking them more seriously, all that I do is just a better route. So we got people all over the place looking at me. But I think it's because the car that I have, plus I got all my lights on here in the freaking video. But so yeah, that's basically that. So fasted cardio, great for burning more fat. That's my opinion. That's my diet coach's opinion, and that's what's actually worked for me. My actual material experience has shown me that after I do fasted cardio, my weight is going down faster than when I'm doing just regular cardio. Now the difference may be minuscule, but when you're dieting and you start to get to that point where you're like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months into a dieting phase, and you're like, losing weight pretty, for extended periods of time, you start to get to that lower body fat percentage where it's a little hard to start, it gets harder to harder. Those little things make all the difference. So that's all great. 9 o'clock, 9:03 right now. 29 minutes in. I know it's kind of a long car talk, but who gives a shit? I think because it's late enough, I think I'll be able to get some pretty good footage in there training. It depends on how loud the music is, though. I might just turn off the music. That's the thing about me in the gym. I just do what feels right for me. So if I go to the gym and like it's too loud, I just fucking turn it off. Nobody ever says anything to me, so or I'll just change the station or put my own phone in there and play Suicide Boys. But anyways, so yeah, 9 o'clock. After this, when I get home, I probably won't eat anything at this point. You know, I might have some like basically low calorie snacks. Might have some fruit. I'm not even sure because you know you got to think even like a medium sized apple is about 100 calories, 104 calories, 105 calories, and you know a couple grams of sugar. So if you say, oh, apple's low calorie, it is. But if you have 1,600 calories a day, 100 calories is a you know not a big chunk, but it's like a notable amount of calories. You know, you can't just say, oh, a couple hundred calories here, and then next you know you're out of calories. So you know, an apple to me is you know it's good, but I'd rather have like pickles and vegetables because I can have a whole like bag of like chopped pickles for like 15 calories for the whole fucking bag. Anyways, so I'm pretty much fully fed for today, so I'm gonna have a lot more energy. I'm gonna feel more full, more pumped at the end of this lift. I'm gonna go home, shower, and then drink some water. Pretty much maybe like a small protein snack. I have like half a protein bar left. I might have that because I already tracked it for today, and then I'll just go to bed, brush my teeth or whatever. So in terms of legs, we'll stretch and everything. Um, because it is later, I'm a little tired. Hopefully this kicks in soon. Once you start warming up, the blood starts flowing. I think the forearms are looking like extra. Oh, I'm getting a cramp though. Fuck. Which is strange because I drink a lot of water today. Anyways, we're gonna stretch, warm up, and then we're gonna get into. Let's think. My calves, man. I've been working them out. This last year they've grown. They've like doubled in size, literally. I've had my friend stuff notice. Um, that I've trained with my calves are getting really my legs have just grown so much over the last like 4 years, 5 years, um, because I'm training them directly and I'm training them hard. Over the last year, I've had a huge strength increase. You know, front squatting 275. I could hit 315 on a front squat. I just have no reason to really go that heavy. You know, to do 2 or 3 reps on a front squat, I just don't really see the advantage of that. But yeah, you know, so I like to get for a front squat. You know, for the obviously it's more of a compound movement. I'm okay with like getting 6 reps, but you know, anything less than 6, I think you're kind of just going a little too heavy. You know, if you're hitting, you know, I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. So I probably won't do any squatting tonight. I think I might, honestly, this might be a plain Jane leg workout. Stretch, warm up, mobility. So tomorrow is my last chest day to skip. If you guys know, I skipped 4 chest days. This tomorrow's will be is chest is scheduled for tomorrow. So I do chest, back, arms, legs. But I've skipped the last. My hands are so fucking big. I skipped the last 3. Tomorrow is gonna be the 4th. I made that promise. That's how long. That's how many videos I've recorded without posting them. This is now tomorrow is the 4th chest day. So I've basically recorded the last 2 weeks, 16 days, and haven't posted anything besides my grocery haul for the cut, which was like 3 weeks ago. I bought that stuff, or 2.5 weeks ago. Um, but tomorrow is my 4th and final chest day to skip, and I'm so happy to say that like it's paid off. Like, oh my god, why the fuck is it busy? Is it busy or I just can't see? That's one thing of window tint being this dark. You just can't see shit. Yeah, there's too many people. I'm not gonna record. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably just record on the way home, just talk about how the lift went. But just so you guys can, I'll talk about what I think I'm gonna do, and then on the way back, I'll tell you guys what I actually ended up doing. Um, why does this thing only turn on sometimes? Yes, of course I want the backup camera on. Sometimes I get pissed off. And I turn off the backup camera. Like, why is it not going? Yes. Yes. Okay, fuck it. Just guess where I'm parking. Yeah. Seems about right. I sometimes get pissed off and I turn off the backup camera because it beeps like crazy. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, let's just talk about it. 34 minutes in. So after a stretch warm up, I'm gonna do probably 6 sets of calf raises. And when I say 6 sets, I'm not doing like what you guys probably would do, which is like set and then done, set and then done. I'm doing like every set is like a double or triple drop set. I'm doing like the full stack literally for like 15 reps, then I'll drop it to like 80. This is like a really bad angle, but 80% of the stack for like another 10, and then maybe half the stack until I just can't get any more. we're losing some fat here. Not too much left. I'm kidding. I got a lot left. Um, and I'm sitting down too. But and then I'll do like 6 sets of that. So really, I'm gonna end up doing like 12 to 15 sets of calves. But your calves do demand that sort of volume. You know, that higher volume, higher weight stimulation. You know, our stack here for the leg press, which is where I do a lot of my calf work because I like the angle. You know, a standing calf raise is good to get a nice stretch, but when your legs are basically like when you're sitting down in a car seat and your legs are kind of in front of you at that angle, you're getting a even deeper stretch in the back of your calf, like right behind your kneecap. Similar to like if you're doing leg extensions, you're sitting down in leg extension machine like this. When you lean forward over the machine, the back of your hamstrings that tie into your glutes are getting even more of a. The more you lean forward, the more they stretch out. So that's why when I'm doing leg extensions, I'm like leaning forward, or hamstring curls. I mean, I'm leaning forward like this when I'm doing hamstring curls because I'm getting even more of a stretch. So I'll do like 6 sets of calf raises. Then I'll do probably 6 sets of hamstring curls and 6 sets of leg extensions. Honestly, so I end up doing about 18, so about 6 sets per muscle group, about 18 working sets total. Yeah, so I'll let you guys know what I end up doing. There's a bug flying around here, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, I'll catch you guys after the lift.
All right, so no mic, but just some real time post leg footage, as it were. Yeah, however many minutes later that was, I don't know. We're thinking 10, 12 intense sets later, and we're back.
All right, we're gonna do another the hats off. So the hats off for a few reasons. Let's think. I'm gonna put it right here. Whew. Damn, I needed a breather, but it's 9:53. So if you guys can do the math, 50 minutes, not 15, not an hour and 50, but 50 minutes. You know, pretty on par with what I was kind of anticipating. This is going to be just given. Let's see if I can get that on. There we go. Just given the fact that it's fucking 10 o'clock at night on a Monday. Big news this Wednesday, August 28th. Pumpkin is back at Dunkin'. I don't care anything about Starbucks. Don't let me fool you. I'll get a hot white mocha tall, which is their small with no whipped cream every now and again. But anyways, whew, that was legs, man, as described. I mean, really, as I said, that last clip post leg, I kind of cut it off because there was someone who, whew, man, I'm like tired. It's like my body can't get a full yawn because I'm tired physically. I'm exhausted, but I had my pre-workout. I finished it 55 minutes ago, so it's still kind of active right now. You don't just take a pre-workout. And I'm sorry, it's kind of dark. I mean, I only can put so much light on in here. And to keep in mind, I'm using my iPhone, which is the new one. It's the 15. I have the 15 Plus, so it's a great camera. I'm using the back camera, or sorry, the front camera, I guess, that you would use for taking a selfie. I'm not using like the phone camera, I guess. I'm using you get what I'm saying. So the other camera is a little better for night mode, but whatever. This is new. You guys don't like care. But yeah, that last clip, just kind of walking out a little bit stumbly. I always finish off my leg days with quads, so still pretty heavy. I didn't drink as much water as I'd like to typically for a lift, especially legs. I'll give you guys some ASMR. You know, I'm usually one of these per workout, and I'll sometimes have to when I'm in the car 9 times out of 10, this being that 1 out of 10 times where I didn't. This is empty, so my car drive home is usually pretty thirsty because I'll sometimes, but I don't like to use the gym water. Well, whatever. These Stanley cups are so big that you have to put it at such an angle, filling up at the fountain. Whatever. The only gym I'll fill it up at the gym, like if they have like the Planet Fitness one or the one at UXL, another area where I live, where you can just put it in, fills it up, you can pull it out, kind of like a soda machine you find at restaurants, whatever. But didn't drink as much water as I would like. Keep in mind, water keeps you hydrated, keeps your muscles hydrated, keeps you better endurance, more full, and obviously helps you replenish the electrolytes and sweat that you're losing if you have electrolytes and that kind of stuff in your drink. This is just plain water. I usually only have liquid IV, my hydration. I do the sugar-free lemon lime. Um, there is 60 calories in the regular one with a few grams of sugar. The 0 calorie or the zero sugar one has no sugar, no carbs, no protein. It's just 0, 0, 0. And then I think there's 20 calories, 30 calories, or maybe 45. I don't know. It's negligible the amount of calories, but the sugar is not negligible if you get the regular one. So always get sugar-free. Tastes incredible. So liquid IV, sugar-free. My favorite of all time is the Waterboy lemon. They're much higher sodium, much higher, not sodium, much higher electrolytes, potassium, sodium, a better actual hydration beverage. But they're ordering them. Sometimes you order it and then like 5 days later it gets shipped out. So it's just hard to get it all the time. So the no sugar liquid IV, I can just run down to Vitamin Shop and grab it in 30 seconds. So, anyways, legs was as described prior to getting here. I did my warm up upstairs, stretch, calf, hamstring, quad, just a quick warm up. Nothing like overly intense. Today, just because I was kind of short on time and being that it was the end of the day, I was, my legs weren't as tight. Like if you go and you're training legs first thing in the morning at like 7, 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, like within your first 60 minutes of being awake, you're at the gym. Definitely take time to not only do stretching and warming up, but walk in the treadmill for like 15 or 20 minutes just to get your muscles kind of opened up, get some blood flow in the leg. You don't want to go in there to the gym, walk over to the Smith machine or the squat rack or the leg press and just start kind of doing like one or two warm up sets and then go right into your lift because you're gonna hurt yourself. And if you're young like me, or if you're in your teens or your 20s or your early 30s, whatever, and you think, oh, I'm young, man, it's not gonna hurt myself. I'm telling you guys, take my advice. If you're gonna take anything today, stretch and warm up before your fucking lifts. You will perform better. You will have better strength, better endurance, better muscle growth, better recovery. Stretching is so beneficial. If you had 60 minutes to work out and you're like, man, my stretching routine is going to take 30 minutes, I would rather stretch for 30 minutes and have 10 minutes to actually work out than just rush and skip through the stretch and have an hour to work out. That's how beneficial stretching is to me. And not just to me, like, oh, Colton, it's good for my body. Stretching is good for everybody, man. I'm telling you, stretching is such an underrated movement and supplement. Like it will accelerate your gains 10x. So take that for what it is. But after doing my stretching and warming up, my shoulder mobility and stuff, my shoulder feels great. Um, I'll get into that after the legs. Went downstairs, did calves on the seated leg press, like I said, to the point where it was burning so bad. Lying down hamstring curls, which those are my favorite right now. Albeit the gym I'm at, the seated hamstring curl machine sucks horribly. Horrible. It's not like your typical, you sit down and then you move the pad and adjust it to the top of your quads, and then you move your heels to kind of your hamstrings curled. It's like both bars. The one of them goes over your top of your shin, and the other one goes on like the top of your ankle. Um, let's see if we can get a green light here. But there's someone right next to me that I can't tell, but I feel like they're piercing into the car. Um, anyways, it's like that. Whatever. I talked about it in a few videos. I just don't like it all, so I stay away from it entirely. Um, and then, but when it comes to hamstrings, really, it's seated leg curls. It's all leg curls. Seated leg curls, standing leg curls, or lying down leg curls. Lying down meaning you're face down, you're facing the pads, and then the apparatus, as it were, hooks behind your ankles, and then you pull your ankles to your lower glutes. That's my favorite because the way that the bed is the padding and stretch you laid out on, you just get such an incredible stretch in the hamstrings. But outside of the machines, the only real other hamstring movement is going to be your deadlift, whether that be Romanian, straight leg deadlift, RDL, like whatever you're doing. Sumo deadlift, you're not really going to get a lot of hamstring activation, although you will get a lot of hamstring activation. If you want to target your hamstrings, straight leg deadlifts or RDLs. Like straight leg deadlift is where basically your legs, you're almost like you're standing up straight, do just a slight bend in your knees so you don't like tear your meniscus or bust your knees in half or pass out because of blood flow. You're basically standing straight up, do a slight bend in your knees, and that's it. You're just bending at like the waist only, and that's just putting all the tension on your hamstrings. So you're not going to go too heavy with that movement because it's going to put a lot of pressure. You got to think from an engineering perspective. The pivot point is where the majority of the load lies. So like when you're if you're holding 100-pound dumbbells right here, of course the tension is going to be on your pecs, but the load itself is going to be bearing on your elbows a lot. So that's why you have to make sure you're using proper range of motion and you're not going way out here. You're kind of following the natural lineage, or you could even say just the natural plane movement of your body, right? You don't want to make anything uncomfortable. But yeah, so I did the couple drop. Like I said, I switched it up today for quads, but for a lot of my movements for my arms and legs, I guess you could say my limbs, I do 5 and 5. So if I'm doing legs extensions, I'm sitting on the bench, or on the machine, I'm doing 5 with my right, 5 with my left, 5 with my right, 5 with my left, until I can't get 5. And when I say I'm going to failure, it's a different type of failure. I'm not taking that set to where I can't even get 1 rep. My goal is to make sure I'm getting hypertrophy and strength, and I'm adequately testing the quads or whatever muscle I'm working, whether it be triceps, biceps, whatever. I'm going and doing a full range of motion. So if I'm doing a tricep extension, I'm on the cable, right? I have the little handle there, and I'm going to do 5 with my right. When I get 5, grab my left. 5 with my left. 5 right, 5 left. I'm doing full range of motion. I'm doing complete eccentric, so completely stretched, all the way down, fully extending, locking out, not to the point of like I'm busting my elbows, but I'm nice controlled squeeze the tricep, fully eccentric portion, all the way back up, fully stretched, concentric or eccentric, concentric, right? So my tricep is fully stretched, full range of motion, right? So I'm doing 5 complete reps. Once I can't get 5 full, complete, complete range of motion reps, that's when I call it. So typically I do 4 or 5 iterations, so it ends up being about 15 or 20 reps, per muscle that I'm training. So for example, when I just trained hamstrings, the lying hamstring machine, I do 5 with my right, 5 with my left, 5 left, 5 right, 5 left, 5 right, 5 left, 5 right, 5 left, and then barely get that 5th with my right, and then barely get that 5th with my left. Once I know that, okay, the next iteration, I'm not going to get 5 without sacrificing form and not getting full range of motion. I'll push it, get some partials, and then I'll call it. So I end up getting about usually 20 to 30 reps per leg when I'm doing it in that manner, and that just works super well for me. But I switch it up always. So like today, when I after the hamstrings, just completely blew them up. When I went over to quads, I did my first set 5 with my right, 5 with my left, 5 right, 5 left, back and forth. But sometimes I feel maybe by doing that exclusively that way, you may bias one leg more than the other, whether it be like the angle you're at, the way your toes pointing, whatever it could be. Yes, it might be, like it might be very minuscule, like I keep saying. It might be like almost negligible. But for those of you who have been training for a long time, you can tell when just something is off ever so slightly, and that can just drive you crazy, especially if you have OCD like me. So after that first set, I'm like, you know what? Let me finish these last 2 with both legs at the same time. And whatever reason, it just felt really good doing it that way today. Maybe because I warmed up that first set with 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5. They're both, equally warm. But I did, pretty lightweight for today in terms of like I don't go too heavy on extensions and curls. I can throw the stack around like literally for any gym you put me at thus far. I can drop the pin to the very bottom for leg extensions. Hamstring curls is a little harder. I'm not sure I'm gonna have strong legs, but I don't know. Hamstrings is more of a like I can typically like I can push when I'm doing my tricep push downs at both gyms. All 3 gyms I train at, I do the full stack: Planet Fitness, UXL, and Grafton Barbell. My first 2 or 3 working sets after I'm warmed up with tricep push downs with the bar, straight bar, I'm doing the whole stack for anywhere from 8 to 15 reps, and I'm doing good, controlled, very controlled reps too. But for bicep curls, when I flip it, I'm not doing the full stack. I'll tell you that much right now. Because typically you can always push more than you can pull, right? So you can, in a typical sense, right? You can probably do lat pull. If I grab a bar, you can probably, you guys get what I'm saying. You can pull in a lot of contexts more than you can push, because pushing it's just a different feeling entirely. Um, so after I did the hamstring curls, went over leg extensions, like I said, just completely burned out until my legs felt like they were gonna fall off, and it was just this. I mean, I'm not kidding, guys. By like the 7th or 8th rep of my third set of leg extensions, my 7th or 8th rep, my quads are on fire, and I went all the way up to 20 reps. So once I'm like, holy shit, my legs are burning. Maybe the average person, I don't know. I'm not trying to put that out there, but maybe the average person would have called the set there and be like, okay, great, it burned, awesome, uncomfortable. That was a good set. And maybe for what it is, then maybe that was a good set. Maybe you did enough damage for your desire, your standpoint, your standard, whatever. But once they got to 7, I'm like, man, I just for whatever reason had 20 in my head and just kept going. By like the 12th rep, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, and you're just making whatever noise come out. It's like you're just the craziest noises because you're just so focused on what you're doing. People typically, you have the gym idiots, like the jackasses that are like horrible form, obviously just intentionally throwing around weight that they can't handle, especially for deadlifts. When people picking up weight and then they just slam it down. I'm not talking like when I'm deadlifting like 450 pounds plus. Like if I'm have 455 on the bar, I'm not gonna gently set that down like it's 135 because it's so heavy. You don't want to go slow on the eccentric portion of the downward portion of a deadlift because your back is in a very compromised state. So you're kind of doing the more explosive on the way up, and then kind of lock out, hold it for a second, and then kind of set it down. But the people that like slam the weight, they almost grab the bar and push it down so it even hits the ground harder. Those types of people, like to me, are just so annoying to be in the gym. When you're deadlifting, I would honestly say 365 pounds plus, maybe 405 plus, so 4 plates and above. You just simply can't set it down gently, and that's fine. But typically I'm very controlled with picking the weight up and putting it down. I don't really. The only time I ever really considered to slam a weight would honestly be the few times when I'm deadlifting 450 plus, 450 pounds plus, which this year has been once so far, and it's August 20 something. Um, or if I have like incredibly heavy dumbbells, like I don't do flat dumbbell at all. Haven't done it over a year. Incline dumbbell, if I have the 110-pound dumbbells or higher, I'm just pushing myself so close to the point of failure that I just simply can't put the weight down on my knees, stand up, walk it back. I'm pushing so hard, I'm exerting so much energy that I just typically would drop it. Now, with that said, I usually only drop one of the dumbbells because I have enough energy to two-hand and carry one of them back at least. But I hate those guys who do 4 or 5 like half reps and then just slam the weight down. It's like you guys are throwing around the 90s. Like, what are you throwing it down for? I don't know. But with that being said, that's just my. Everybody has like their things. Their what do you even call that? Like your what's that word? It's not ick, but like in that realm, like your pet peeve. Everybody has a pet peeve. I think in the gym, pet peeves are even more noticeable. Just because like everyone, you got a lot of people in the gym working out really focused, so you're more apt to getting annoyed because you're so focused. The distractions are more noticeable. Like when you're taking a test. If you're in class and the teacher's talking, they got whiteboard and videos playing and that kind of stuff, maybe somebody clicking their heel isn't going to bother you. But if you're taking a test and it's silent, everybody's really focused, that somebody clicking that same heel might like bother you times 1,000 because you're like, oh my gosh, like shut up. So that's just kind of my opinion on it, at least. But yeah, so I think that's really when it comes to legs, you got to just train heavy, train hard, but also train control. There's this dude at the gym. I think he was a little bit slower. I know he was. At first he came up to me. I'm like, man, it's the second time he came up to me. But I could tell he was a little bit slower, maybe more socially awkward. He just kept talking to me a lot, which is fine. I'm always open to talking in the gym, but to me, I always think if it gets to a minute or longer, then I'll respectfully like stop the conversation. It's like I've had even friends at the gym that I haven't seen in a long time. If I just walk by them, I'll just kind of give them the head now. What's up, man? I can tell they'll kind of turn their body language as, hey, I want to talk to you for a minute, but I'm at the gym. I think it's fair play to say that if I'm at the gym, let me just work out. If it's towards the beginning or the end, I don't really mind. If I'm doing cardio still, I don't really mind. But I'm at the gym to work out, and I'm not one of those people who wants to be there for 3 hours because I spent 30 minutes talking. Even working out with friends, I'll kind of limit my conversation even when I'm training with a partner because like so much conversation, whether you think about it or not, subconsciously will distract you from putting your focus on what you're doing. Um, I don't know. That's just semantics at this point. But yeah, legs was intense. Um, I honestly like. I mean, you couldn't have gotten a more simpler leg workout. After I was stretched and warmed up, calf raises, leg curls, leg extensions. That was it. I was gonna finish off with one set of front squats just to kind of put it, just to kind of put it like, just to do it really, honestly, just to get. I was just gonna do the bar, just like literally one set of like when I finished that last set of leg extensions, that 20 rep set. I was so fatigued that the bar for 15 or 20 reps would feel like a million pounds. Now that goes to show I'm training hard. That bar, if I did that my opener in the beginning, I could probably do 100 plus reps with the bar on front squats because it's such lightweight. It's not taxing enough of my quads unless I make up for the lack of weight with incredibly high volume. That's why I saw a podcast once like Bradley Martin, and somebody asked him how many times do you think you could curl 5 pound dumbbells. And he's like, oh my gosh, probably 1,000. Because just at that point you're just really bending your arm up and down. So that's why you have to have a weight that you can control, but that's also taxing enough to stimulate the muscle to grow. So a typical set would look like for beginners, you stretch, you warm up. I always put that first. And then when you go to your first movement of the day, so if you're training legs, or let's say you're training chest, and your first movement of the day is going to be incline dumbbell press, start off with the 30 pounds. Like, I'm just going to use my weights. Like, I'll start off with the 30s just for like, 5 or 6 just to get the feel in it. Then I'll go up to the 50s. Then I'll go up to the 80s. And then I'll usually do like the 90s or the 100s, maybe for just a rep, and then kind of go to my working weight. So for incline dumbbell, anywhere from 100 to 120 pound dumbbells is my pretty standard working weight. There is sometimes, and I'll try to mix it up, and I'll like grab like the 70s, and I'll do like 5 sets of 20, and just try, or 5 sets of 20-ish, right? And try to just really focus on like super slow down on the eccentric, and then nice squeeze, hold it for a second on top, and really push my elbows together, try to get extra squeeze. So I'll do that every so often. But for the most part in this phase right now with my current strength, about 100 to 120 pound dumbbells is like pretty good right now for my working sets. So what I'm saying is, once I do my first 3, 4, 5 working sets of incline dumbbell press, when I go over to, let's say, incline hammer strength press, I'm not going to start off with a quarter of the stack and do 2, 3 warm-up sets because I'm ready to go. I might like do a feeler rep, like okay, let's try half. No, we'll try 200 pounds, almost a full stack, and then I'll do just one rep just to kind of get a feeler and say, okay, it's a little heavy right now. Let me drop it a little bit or whatever, you know what I mean? Just to kind of feel out that movement. But yeah, that's really it, guys. That's kind of really all I got to say today. A lot of car talks. I want to get more comfortable recording in the gym, but it for selfish reasons, when I'm in the gym recording, it distracts me from my lift. It just does. There we go. I'm gonna try to drive slow here. No one's behind me. I don't feel like having that thing fall. I'm driving like really slow to the point where people may. Okay. I think you get to a point where no matter how slow you turn, it's gonna fall. I have it. It's as good as it could get for right now. I'm sure I can move that third leg down a bit. Whatever. But yeah, so that's really all I gotta say, guys. Today didn't do the best in terms of my calories. Keep in mind, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays are my low calorie days. So during my cut, I'm at 1,900 calories a day. To induce fat burning, my diet coach put me to like different options. I think I talked about this maybe a few weeks ago. He said, "Hey, here's the different options. This, blah, 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 whatever the options were, doesn't matter." The option I chose was to have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 days a week, have lower calorie days, and then so like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm at 1,600 calories per day. So lower, I'm a little more not as high energy and stuff, but for right now, that's what's good. I don't know yet. It works, it worked for me when I did it consistently. But today, we were invited out to dinner by someone who we really wanted to go out with, and wanted to go out for a long time. So I was like, fuck, I was put. Some people call it between a rock and a hard place. I was backed up to a corner, but it wasn't a big deal. I had a little bit of something, I maybe more than I should have had, So I think at the end of the day, I was probably closer to 2,000 calories today. Now, that's not that good, For that wouldn't be a big deal if it was 2 months from now, right? When you're this early in a cut, having higher calorie days, I shouldn't say that. Eating, somewhat substantially higher than your calories early on in a cut can really, really derail your progress. If I was, let's say, already 15 pounds down, having a little higher calorie day because I had, hey, we're going out with a family, some of our family we haven't gone out in a long time. I can sacrifice, a couple extra calories today, and tomorrow I'll be back on track. It might, my weigh-in at the end of the week is probably not really going to be affect that much. Maybe a little bit higher than it could have been, but a day isn't really going to affect you. But when you're this early in the cut, my body's still transitioning from psychologically from bulking to cutting, which is the hardest because you're going from eating a lot to eating a little. Um, I'm going from eating probably 27-ish hundred calories, 2,800 calories a day down to 1,900. So we're talking like a pretty, I was probably around 25 to 2,800 calories, over my bulk the last, couple months, the last big chunk. Um, because in a bulking context, I'm still trying to get my protein, my calories, all this stuff in, but I'm not like I'm tracking everything. Everything's still dialed in on my phone. But like if I'm like, hey, before bed I have a bowl of cereal, I'm just gonna have it, because the extra calories I don't really give a fuck about. If I put on a little extra fat, that's fine with me. But switching back into a cutting context, I don't do like people like gradually go into. I just go right into it because I don't know. That's just how I like to do it. I don't want to spend 2 months getting into the cut when I could have just sacrificed that 2 months ago. Maybe it's a little harder, but whatever. That's just what works for me. Um, but anyways, so yeah, I did a little higher, but that's something to keep in mind. When you're this early on in a cut, a higher calorie day can really fuck up your progress. So honestly, like going over today could have set me back a week, because my body just went back to its normal state that it's been bulked in, because my muscles and my and everything is still kind of, when my stomach, like when you get deeper and deeper into the cut, your stomach does start to shrink. You get a little tighter. Your stomach shrinks a little bit. Your appetite goes down. You start to get like tighter is the best word I can use. You just get like smaller and tighter, and you're not as full. If you had a typical bulking meal 3 months into your cut, you're just gonna feel so bloated and like shit because you're not used to eating that much food. That's why bulking and cutting and doing it gradually is so important. So honestly, going over 300-400 calories just early on in my cut really just kind of set me back. So it's like a big bummer, but there's nothing to do. I'm not gonna spend tomorrow because I went over today. I'm gonna eat 1,000 calories tomorrow. I'm gonna eat way way less than that. That's not how you. Oh my gosh, like I don't even know where I'm going right now. That's not how you cut. You don't say, okay, well, I went over 500 calories today, so tomorrow I'm only gonna have 1,100 calories because I need to eat. I need to make up for the. That's not how it works. Just if you have a day where you eat over, that next morning when you wake up, just get back on track. If you have a big breakfast, like if it's same day and you say, okay, I had 1,600 calories to eat today. It's Monday, and I had a 900 calorie breakfast because I went out with my friends to fucking I don't know First Watch, and I had a coffee with milk with creamer, whole milk as the creamer. I had caramel syrup. I had whatever fucking biscuits and gravy. I don't know. And you had a 900 calorie breakfast. Like, man, I only have 700 calories left for today. Sacrifice, just suffer for that day. You have 700 calories left. Skip your snacks, skip your lunch, and just save those 700 calories for dinner, and then you're going to be good. You can sacrifice and have like a shitty 8 or 9 hours, rather than just saying, oh, whatever, I'm going to just go over today a fuck ton. That will screw you up your diet more than anything. So as we're pulling in the driveway here, guys, keep that in mind. My one of my old counselors called it a case of the fuckets. Don't get a case of the fuckets when it comes to your diet. If you screw something up a little bit, just keep that for what it is. Don't make it even worse and go over even more. Just keep that, Oh, I think there's a cop behind me. Fuck. Oh, fuck.